Welcome to another episode of the We Call Game podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Kintu. I'm here with
Joseph Carpe Diem, putting in work from the AM to the PM.
Yeah, Richie Rich, fresh from Paris Fashion Week and that. What was it saying out there?
Man, I was calm still. Oh. Yeah, I was calm.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm cool.
Okay, cool, fam.
That's about money.
Yeah, fam. Cool, take it easy. You're in a safe place now. You're back home. This has been cracking in the NBA this week, fam.
Yeah, there's been... Oh.
No, go on.
Yeah, there's been like crazy scoring games. Like bare players dropping over 50 and that.
Yeah, anniversary of Kobe's death. Bucks fired their coach. Hired Doc Rivers. Not going to have him on commentary anymore on games.
There was KD...
KD, yeah, KD wants to know why he's not in the GOAT conversation. So, like, yeah, there's a few things to discuss in that. Okay, where are we going to start? Where are we going to start?
Scoring stuff.
The scoring?
Yeah.
All right, so Embiid put 70 on Wemby. Yeah. Anyone see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he put him in a blender still. Like, those mid-range buckets was peaks, though.
It was fun. It was funny because he actually bullied him still. Like, some of the points I saw where, like, they'd throw the ball to Embiid in the post and then he kind of, like, initiate contact with Wemby and then get that 2 yards of separation.
Yeah.
There was just have an easy layup or dunk.
There was one bucket that he gave to Wemby where Joel Embiid just got the ball, just one hard dribble, and Wemby was just shifted out of the way, easy dunk. I said, yeah. That was a welcome to the NBA moment for sure. That
was man's baptism. That's the one where in 20 years where you're doing the podcast and they ask you, who was the first person to actually, school you, you're going to have to bring up the fact that Joel Embiid put 70 on your headpiece. He did score 30 himself, so it means that, there was a little back and forth, but there's not enough bricks in his pocket to deal with all them problems, you know what I'm saying there. But Joel Embiid, you went from 70 to not playing against Denver yesterday. What's that about?
6 more games till he can't be an MVP and an NBA.
And I heard he ain't played against Jokic in Denver since like 2019.
That's crazy.
Is he ducking the smoke?
Maybe.
He might be. But
because we know he's going to play the next game, right?
Yeah, he has to. But I don't think it's a good look where your 2 MVP front runners, you're sitting out, not because you're injured or nothing like that. You're just not playing. I think that's crazy.
I think Jokic played.
Yeah, but I'm saying for Joel Embiid to be sitting out when that's basically the MVP conversation between Joel Embiid and Jokic. For you to be sitting out, we want to see our best players go at it. So
you should want to play. Like, how sick are you? Is it the flu? Because Michael Jordan played with the flu. Like,
Dirk Nowitzki played through the flu.
Like, I'm just saying, like, if it were me and you're saying this other guy's MVP, I would want to play against him in his home court and show why I'm the MVP in it.
Yeah, facts.
And for you to routinely not play this match, it's kind of like the way how, they said how Neymar was always missing games in February because it was his sister's birthday or something. I think people even said they were chopping, which is mad. Which I can't believe that's outrageous still. But
oh man, yeah. Even Luka dropped 73.
73 points. Yep.
That's the second most since Kobe's 81.
So it begs the question. Okay, he was 8 away.
Yeah, even D-Book dropped like 62 as well.
He dropped 62, and Karl Anthony Towns dropped 62. And I wouldn't highlight this, but his own coach did in a loss to the Charlotte Bobcats. Now, you can lose. Look, you can lose and score a lot of points. I ain't gonna criticize you for that. But when your coach is coming out and he's blasting your whole team because you lot keep feeding man the ball and you're not playing properly, and then you end up losing to one of the worst teams in the league while you're trying to score 70, That's a problem. That makes you a dunce. And that's why I can never believe in Karl Anthony Towns, because if he's not faking his voice on the internet, he's doing dumb stuff like this. Like, just win the game, innit? Your points are going to come. It's Charlotte. And then you get embarrassed by them. Are they still the 1 seed?
Nah, 2.
They're the 2 seed?
Yeah.
Yeah, OKC are top.
Whoa. Last year we saw a lot of, I think, didn't the Lakers beat Memphis when they were in the 7th seed and 2 seed? If Minnesota ain't careful, you could be fool's gold. OKC as well, they're a young team. But then again, I feel like in a lot of the matchups against other Western Conference powerhouses, they've accounted well. Not that Minnesota haven't, but that's a worrying loss to me. Like, to lose doing that to one of the worst teams in the league, Charlotte. Was LaMelo Ball even playing?
He played a bit still, yeah.
Okay.
See who else dropped some crazy points. I think that's about it,
It was Luka, Booker, Joel Embiid.
Cat.
But is anyone ever going to eclipse 81? What do I...
Yeah, I think, like, the names that we said minus Cat, there's Steph Curry, there's KD.
I don't think KD's going to do it.
He has the potential to, but I don't think he personally would.
I think unless Kevin Durant has an extended period without Devin Booker and Bradley Beal in the Suns lineup, he won't do it.
Now, what I think so how I think it will happen is if he gets going early and if the game is close and he has crazy points.
No.
If he has like 45 by like the third and it's still a close game that we're losing the side, I think he'll just continue going off. But if it's a thing that we're winning and he has 45, he'll try to defer to others to let them get this.
Yeah, that's why I think he won't get it. And I think because he's not the number 1 scoring option on the Suns,
Of course
He's not
the number one.
He's not.
He's not the number one.
He's not.
Booker's ahead of him.
No, he's not.
He's
He
not.
is.
Booker
is the
Devin Booker's the number 1. Kevin Durant even says it.
Nah, he's not still.
He is, because Kevin Durant wants to play.
More.
Kevin Durant wants to play the right way, innit?
The guy averages more.
Okay. He averages more because obviously he's the more talented player, but Devin Booker's more aggressive.
In terms of handling the ball, yeah, D-Book, yeah, but in terms of being number 1, D-Book, so even said KD's number 1 option as well.
I think they're both being polite, but if you look at who's actually more directly aggressive, it's Devin Booker.
In terms of who team is, I'll say it's Book's team.
Exactly.
But I'm saying, I think Devin Booker's more likely to average 81 than KD.
Then Kevin Durant, because he.
It would I think it would be between either Devin Booker or Luka. I don't think Steph would.
Look, to score 80 or so, it's tiring, and to do that, you have to ask yourself. This is why it's a small list of who I think can actually do it. Who's willing to take 30 to 40 field goals attempts in a game? And whose roster's constructed where that might happen? That's the question you have to ask. Because no matter how efficiently you shoot, you're still going to need to put up 30 to 35 to 40 shots nearly. I think Kobe Fair's 81, I think, was 28 for 46.
After 25,
that's actually right.
25 shots, you're gassed.
Well, did I get that bang on? 28 for 46.
I'm gonna get it up. I'm pretty sure.
Pause. Whoa.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was mad.
My bad. That's.
You're gonna need free throws.
28 for 46.
7 from 13 for free.
Yep.
Free throws as well. You're gonna need 18 for 19 free throws.
Yeah, 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I know all of that. But you see what I'm saying? And then look at the roster that he's doing this with. Look at the potential spacing. Who's on the court? Smush Parker can't shoot. Lamar Odom can't shoot. Kwame Brown can't shoot. Chris Mim can't shoot. That's who you're putting up 81 with. Lane all clogged in 05. No, 06 rather.
So do you think that these scoring bouts that these regular players are going on?
I'm not going to take anything away from them. The game's the game.
Fair enough.
If it's different, it's different. What I will say is that, though, while I won't take anything away from those players, I just think people need to listen more carefully when people say stuff like, Jordan would have averaged 45. Kobe would have averaged this in this era. Because if you think about it, if you think about actually the era and the defenses they're playing against, it's a lot more restricted and they're getting those points. You're going to put them on a team where, okay, their power forward can shoot, their 5 can shoot, their 3 can shoot. So already it's already you have the spacing and then they can go one-on-one. Please.
Kobe can cook still.
What's really gonna happen?
Plus, the calls are very lenient.
You don't have a 6'10" power forward and a 7-footer in the lane clogging the lane every time you drive in as well. Come on. Yeah. I think the freedom certain people would have had back in the day, even at Iverson, Iverson's averaging 37 to 40, like. Especially if you give him no roster again. Like, so whilst the game's different, I'm not gonna take anything away from what people are doing now. But I think now who could possibly eclipse that 81? Maybe Luka. Steph Curry. If you make
Clay, I'm not gonna lie. Clay's an if, but
yeah,
Clay could do it still.
If he's on some revenge tour thing next season, then yeah. Because I think the fact that he's been playing for money this season has messed him up.
Yeah.
I don't think he's washed or anything. You notice I'm very slow to call people washed, right? Like I said James Harden wasn't washed, and what are we seeing? Clippers were 3-7. He said he was the system. Joseph wanted him to be arrested and stuff. And now he wants us to designate 5 to 10 minutes to talk about how good Kawhi Leonard is today. But, yeah, maybe Clay, but... What
about Giannis?
I think Giannis...
No, but with Giannis's play, he's not really like he's a slasher. And if most of these guys like the jump shooters.
That is true, but let's say he'd have to have like, oh, he's made 22 of 24 free throws, and yeah, he's just. But no, in fact, no, you're right. I think you need to make some jump shots to get there and some threes, and you need the free throws. So I think Giannis can get to 67. Look, David Robinson got 70 in it. Giannis can, so I don't want to rule Giannis out.
Dave Robinson one, his one was more post. They'll throw it to him. Giannis he'll get the ball, so he'll be in his non-bag. The guy try to dribble.
Non-bag.
He'll try to go into the room, but so he can get better and ones, which is
Embiid maybe.
Yeah,
Embiid.
Yeah, Embiid.
Maybe.
He has a jumper, so
Embiid, Clay. Steph, Luka, Devin Booker. Damian Lillard. Because basically you have to ask yourself sometimes, okay, who can make 14 to 15 threes? So it's like, okay, Clay, Dame. Could Kyrie do it?
Nah, I don't think Kyrie could do it. Not in Dallas.
I think if we're not gonna say KD's gonna do it, yeah, exactly, not in Dallas.
Yeah, that's not in Dallas.
If Kyrie was playing for the Pistons, then maybe. But yeah, not in Dallas. Yeah, it's a smallish list. I mean, let us know in the comments if you disagree or you want to add anyone to the list. But I think it's a small list that can maybe get up to that score 81 points.
What do you think of the All-Star starters?
Yeah, All-Star starters. Steph Curry.
First time he's not a star.
First time, yeah.
2014.
He's not a starter since 2014. I was surprised he wasn't a starter because conventional wisdom tells me a player of his stature, a player of his history, and a player playing in a big market like Golden State, a living legend in himself. And it's not even like he's washed. I've seen more washed. I've seen players more washed than him still start All-Star games on a legacy thing. Wade was doing it. Kobe was doing it. Melo has one or two like that. Like it happens, and it's cool. It's fine. You should still be an All-Star, but I think it's deserved that that SGA is starting. But I was still surprised that Steph Curry wasn't an All-Star start.
But I think if they were to start SGA and Steph, obviously LeBron's gonna start.
No, obviously Luka's gonna start as well. That's another.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I
thought it would be Luka and Steph.
It's gonna be between Luka and Steph.
So
And
LeBron's starting because he's captain, innit? That's right.
Yeah.
And it's LeBron. Again, it's
Yeah.
LeBron James. He's going to get. It's half fans' votes as well. That's another reason I was shocked.
Yeah.
How is Steph Curry not going to be one of the leading vote getters? But it's 50-50 fans and coaches. But then even with 50-50 fans and coaches choosing, Steph Curry's still, his team's not playing well, but I think you can't say he hasn't been playing well.
Yeah. Even Dame's starting for the first time himself in his career. Starting the East.
Yeah, he had to, remember the days where he had to beg to be in the All-Star game and stuff?
Yeah.
It was weird. Very weird time. Now I was more surprised that he got the nod to start because I think people have been maybe too critical of his start at the Bucks, but he hasn't been amazing. I think he's been good.
Yeah.
That's the word for it. He's been good.
He hasn't been too crazy.
And I think that's all you can expect, sort of going from being so long. I used to call him Dame Mysterio. So long where you're the underdog on the team and you're a leader of the team. Where it's like, okay, now I'm actually playing with a player that's better than me, and we actually have not only a genuine chance to win. People expect us to either win or contest the championship. So I think he's done well considering all of that. But I thought it was either between... Is Halliburton starting?
I don't know. So you got to pick though, Joe. Check that.
One sec.
I think he is,
It'd be crazy if he's not starting though.
Yes.
Because I saw
Halliburton, Giannis, Embiid, and Tatum.
That's what I think I saw.
He's starting.
I mean, it's such a... it's not like the pool in the Eastern Conference is that deep, though, if you think about it. They don't like Trae Young for some reason. So, no, but those would be the people contesting for the point normally.
Yeah.
It would be your Trae Youngs, it would be your Donovan Mitchells and stuff. Cleveland are fourth in the East. I don't think anyone gives a crap. No one cares at all. I keep hearing about Donovan Mitchell maybe being traded. And like he's not happy. Like no, you wouldn't hear a peep. Jalen Brunson didn't make the All-Star team. He plays for the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks are doing well. So
Knicks might make some noise now. Like they have a decent squad.
No.
Some like
second round.
Yeah. Second round.
Second round.
Oh yeah. What was I gonna say, Joe? What's the guy's name? Paul George. He still signed his extension yet.
Boy,
so we talk about Clipper Town now.
So there's rumors saying that he might go back to Indiana, but people said Halliburton won't allow it.
Sorry, why are they saying that?
You want to run?
I wasn't expecting that. Still,
he'll sign. He'll sign. I'm not worried. Kawhi's already had a...
I mean, I don't think you leave living in California to go and live in Indiana, especially if you're from California. So, I don't see that happening. But no, the Clippers and Kawhi are doing well, as predicted on this side of the room. the side of the room that actually supports them didn't have any belief in James Harden and co.
I didn't, and I was wrong. What do you want me to say?
This guy was hating on Russ.
He's hating on Russ. Was hating on James Harden, calling himself the system. Saying, oh, flame out in the playoffs. This is flame out. But now, third in the West, and we're hearing, beware, the Clippers are coming. Pause.
Yeah, man. Sometimes when you get it wrong, you have to acknowledge, yeah, man, I got it wrong, man. Boy, Kawhi Leonard averaging 24 points, 53% from the field, 45% from free. And we're cruising right now. Yeah, obviously, James Harden.
Some Chris Middleton numbers.
Wow. How's that Chris Middleton numbers?
It's Chris Middleton. 24.
When
thing is, I'm not gonna do that though.
Yeah,
he's playing on a team with four other.
Yeah.
When
Kobe won championship in 09 and 010, how much did he average regular season? No, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. How much did Kobe?
26.
Okay.
Points.
So why are we poo-pooing 24?
And a championship.
Oh, so he has to win a championship for the 24 to not be poo-pooed.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. Hasn't Clippers been waiting? You got a whole new stadium. You got the guy from Microsoft owns you and stuff. Exactly. We've been waiting for time. Man was doing adverts and stuff. All the pressure for championships is always just on LeBron and stuff. Whereas the Kawhi Leonard is able to walk around with his braided hair with no pressure whatsoever. So I'm saying, yeah, let's go in it. You've got James Harden, you've got 4 Hall of Famers on your team, and you're still gonna find a way to lose. Or prove me wrong.
There was a stat that I saw that like in the 2012-2013 season, there was only like 5 to 10 players that were scored over 25, and now there's like close to like 20.
Oh well. Today's 30 is 10, 20 years ago is 25, 20, if you get what I mean. Yeah. But that's just because the rules have changed, the way teams play changed, the pace has changed, and
more frees.
There's more frees,
more possessions,
faster pace.
You know, if Adam Silver's going to change the rules to benefit offensive players to make the NBA more entertaining, then you're going to get more scoring and you're going to get more points, especially when players are more skilled as well.
It's a thing, like even now, like with MVPs, like guys at SGA, like, I don't think they'll win MVP because now, like with that kind of thing, like they're tailoring to guys who can do all. So like guys like Jokic, like they have 25, they have 10 assists, they have like 9 rebounds. So
yeah.
Guys like SGA, KD, and them guys who they score bears and like they'll assist, but like they won't give it to them. Like it'll be a thing, like because numbers don't look as like as crazy on the board, like if compared to like a Jokic, like who does all Lucas, those type of players. So,
yeah, I think they're using all these advanced stats and.
Yeah.
Breaking stuff down to fit whatever narrative they want to.
So if it was, like
they want to fit
AI,
that. Yeah.
Like when he won it in like 2001, like if you put that same season now, he won't win the MVP. Just based on the numbers, not how we play. Like just based on like the numbers he put up, they'll tailor it to the guys who can do all. So yeah.
It's funny because it's like I feel like the NBA sort of they'll praise one thing at one time. So like for example, in the late 80s and stuff when Michael Jordan was doing a lot of his individual stuff before he was actually winning championships and stuff. He was getting MVPs and Defensive Players of the Year and saying he's the greatest player ever and stuff like that. But then anyone. And he was playing on a team that wasn't winning, was losing in the playoffs, but it was being celebrated. But then when he becomes a winner, we only celebrate doing that when you win, whereas you were celebrating it beforehand. Do you get the point I'm making?
Yeah, as in he was doing more, but it wasn't translating to team success.
and you were fine with it.
Yeah.
But then when you got the team success, you made everyone's criteria to be, oh yeah, now you gotta be, it's gotta be team success. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with sort of like point guards and stuff. Magic Johnson came along. Yeah, you gotta make everyone better. You gotta you gotta get all these assists and stuff. Magic Johnson's 6'9". He's like, that's talent with obviously like God-given physical ability. And he's like, how many 6'9" other 6'9" point guards would he have been playing against? No other point guards. So then what you have after that is a whole era where you got to be like Magic Johnson, make everyone better. You got all these 10 assists, 10, 12 assists point guards that follow on and all that. Tell me, how many of those led their teams to a championship?
None.
With none. Teams winning championship, that guy, the highest assist person on the team's probably getting, 4 or 5? In most cases. Am I lying?
Yeah.
But they tell you, yeah, you gotta be like Magic Johnson, be like that point guard. You gotta make everyone better. You gotta get all of these assists. Where it's just like that doesn't actually translate to what was actually winning is either the point guards or the twos that could score.
Yeah, I think
well as do that.
I think the biggest example of that is CP3 because he's what most people would call a traditional point guard, but he couldn't lead the team to a championship.
Exactly.
But is that due to injuries or?
It's just due to his limitations. Like he's not good enough to lead his team to a championship because of his limitations, not because he's a bad player. Steph's more likely.
But
it's a flawed recipe.
Yeah, but if his teammates aren't really,
it's a flawed recipe to have. That's what I'm saying. It's a flawed recipe to have that make everyone better point guard as your best player.
If that's the second best player,
because the only one to actually do it and be successful was one that was 6'9" and then had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, #1 pick, and a super team. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's they've given you a blueprint that's flawed. Yeah, it can't be. The only other one's Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, that's it.
And then you have to wait all the way till Steph Curry, and Steph don't play like them.
And even for some of Steph titles, one would argue that KD was the best player on a few of them.
I wasn't even thinking of that when I said wait till I was literally just thinking of 2015.
Okay.
I wasn't thinking of the whole run.
No.
But yeah.
I get your point.
But yeah, it's... So that's why I'm not quick to say, oh, CP3 wasn't good enough, because I'm like, how's CP3 and Blake going to beat LeBron and Wade when they come buck them? That's LeBron. Like, what's really going to happen?
That's true.
Their best player is CP3. The other team's best player is LeBron. Who could do CP3's job at 6'9", 6'10" or whatever. Or, New Orleans, they come up against the Lakers like, your best player is CP3, the other best player is Kobe. All right.
Yeah.
You can have your 12 assists. So I think the push narrative thing is the push narrative, or we're gonna push this player, or we're gonna say this is the best thing to do, or everyone should be like. It happens in the NBA. So I think you're right in a sense with saying like, oh yeah, now they're sort of rewarding the players that can do it all. So yeah, if you're gonna have 3 columns that are quite points, assists, rebounds, you're gonna be more likely to get the MVP. And that's why, like we'll talk about last week, why we don't think SGA is gonna get. But by anyone's metrics, you're telling me.
So he's leading his team to the #1 seed. Like last year, they were in the play-in. The guy has mad points.
He's one of the top 5 scorers in the NBA. Arguably his second best player on the team's a red shirt rookie.
Yeah, so.
And you didn't expect him to be the #1 seed. So how can he not, like...
But they're still going to put, like, the Jokic's is and who else? Joel Embiid.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
If OKC finish first in the West, they normally say the MVP is awarded to the best player on the best team when they're having a standout season.
Which for me is a confusing metric as well, because when you add the best team, then it's like, okay, the most valuable player you're saying is the most valuable player in the league. What does the teammates really have to do with that?
As I think is the thing that
because if I have better teammates, my team's gonna be better without me. So how much value am I adding? If I'm on a worse team, I'm going to add more value to that team, because when I'm not there, we're terrible.
I mean, we see that with Ja Morant.
So if you take if you swap SGA for someone like let's say like a Pat Bev, they finish like what, 8th? It's even worse than that.
They wouldn't finish 8th with Pat Bev. They wouldn't get in the play-in with Pat Bev. What are we doing? What?
Yeah. So as SGA, he should be there for you.
I mean, yeah, he should be. Well, that's the thing. My thing is, if that's your criteria, you have to stick to it.
Plus, he's from Canada as well. So I don't think that goes.
You think there's politics involved in that? I hear it. But I think when Jokic got robbed last year, I'd have said, yeah, man, this is bogus.
Robbed?
He got robbed. He should have won it last year.
He should have won it last year.
I don't know.
But if he wins the MVP 3 times in a row, they're gonna start screaming Larry Bird and that.
But if LeBron's not getting 3 times in a row, why the hell is Jokic getting 3 times in a row?
And that's what I think they literally do. That's what you're doing. I think they literally sit around and be like, oh, he's approaching 3. Oh, only this guy's. Oh, he can't do that. Oh, LeBron's won 4 and he's only 25. So wait, he's really creeping up to. What, his last MVP was in 2013. Yeah, it's one like, and I think. I'm not saying he's been undisputedly the MVP for all of those seasons, but I'm just saying, like, hot damn, like he hasn't had one in 11 years.
Yeah,
crazy.
Not even close.
Plus, he should have won Defensive Player of the Year.
I look deep into that.
Yeah,
that might not be as clear cut as it makes. Like LeBron's individual stats on defense that year, compared to Marc Gasol's.
How can Marc Gasol be on the second?
Exactly,
team?
yeah, and LeBron be on the NBA on the first team.
First team, I not win it, so
it's confusing.
Yeah.
Okay, no, but if we've got a few minutes, we'll end with we'll just end with KD complaining about not being in the GOAT conversation. Let's go around the table quickly. Should he be in the GOAT conversation?
Yes.
No.
I'm going to say no, just because I think the GOAT conversation.
But it's the conversation. Not call him the GOAT, just in like.
So what's the conversation about? Are we arguing who's the greatest player ever? Or if it's who's the greatest players, some of the greatest players ever, then I think yeah. But if we're talking about okay, who's the number one greatest player ever? If that is the definition of the GOAT debate, he can't be in it for two reasons. We don't even think he's the best small forward ever.
Yeah.
And we don't think he's anywhere near better than Michael Jordan.
He's the second best small forward.
Exactly.
No, he's not. He's the third.
But
He's
it's
the third.
the
He's
GOAT
the third.
debate. It's the
Third to
GOAT.
who?
Third to who? Like, come on. What are we doing, man? What are we doing?
Oh my God.
What are we doing?
You don't try to disrespect
Come on,
Larry
man.
Bird again.
We'll
Let's wrap up,
close
bro.
on that, man. What?